Welcome, kayak anglers. You are tuning into the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network, kayak fishing's best network of shows with great hosts covering all things kayak fishing, bringing you special guests covering topics such as shore fishing, river trips, gear reviews, angler profiles, tournament news, and more. Sit back, relax. Let's do this.
Jason the 20-Incher Susquehanna River podcast is proudly partnered with these great companies. Railblazer, think outside the tackle box. Michigan brand, the official brand for smallmouth bass. Kayak cushion for them long days on the water. Ken's Jigs, need a custom jig? Don't look any further. Thanks for watching, and welcome to the show. Could this be the 20? I don't know. Good evening, everyone. What's up, Sean?
Not much, Carlisle. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's Sunday night. Time to podcast.
Yeah. So you got out on the water today, huh?
Just for a little bit. I had media at church today, so I was at church all morning from like 7 to 12:30, and but I was able to sneak out after I got home from like 1 till 5-ish before it started pouring on me. But
did it rain a little bit? I didn't know it was just raining at all.
Yeah, it poured on me for a little bit, but right when I was loading the kayak up, but kind of the gray sky started coming in, so I headed for the launch, and I was on dry land by the time it started pouring, so it wasn't too bad. I had my rain jacket on, and I managed to stay dry for the most part, but was happy to at least get out and catch a few. Nothing to write home about, just a few dinks, and I think my biggest was 15. Ran into our buddy Larry Okonski. And he sounded like he had a very similar day as well, but it was still good to see him out in the water.
Yeah, it was humid out today. Very humid out today.
That was the one thing I hated about putting my rain jacket on, because, man, it was hot.
Well, everybody that's watching, thanks for joining us tonight. We have a special episode. We have Stephen Howard from Everyman Angling. That's his
Steven. It's Steven, but yeah.
Steven, my bad.
All
Steve.
good. Okay. We corrected it.
Yeah. But he has a YouTube channel that's growing. He fishes the Susquehanna River, and he does a really good job explaining stuff. And I watched a few of his episodes, and he really has a lot of interaction with his followers. So before we bring him in here, though, we're gonna do our river levels, and then we'll get into the photos that people submitted for this episode. The river levels are brought to you by Railblazer. Think outside the tackle box. And we'll start off with Harrisburg. Harrisburg right now is sitting at 3.72 feet. It looks like it's kind of leveling out a little bit, Sean.
Yeah, it's coming, getting to normal summer levels, I think.
Yeah. I'd rather fish it when it's like 5 foot. It seems to be like the little sweet spot.
Gotcha.
But low and clear, it's starting to clear up. I don't mind fishing low and clear. We had all summer last year was low and clear, and we did pretty good on that level.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go ahead and do the next one, Sean?
Sure. I'll take Lewisburg, and Lewisburg looks very similar, almost like a carbon copy. I can't read the numbers, though. Carlisle, your eyes are
2.09 feet in Lewisburg, and that's
Gotcha.
the West Branch.
Yep.
The next one is Marietta. Marietta is pretty similar as well. 34.51 feet. And for everyone that doesn't know, Marietta is like the deeper part of the Susquehanna River. So 34 is kind of their low.
And lastly, we have Towanda, which is North Branch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And that looks also similar, trending downwards. What's the actual number though? I can't.
It's sitting at a half a foot right now. Super
Half a
low.
foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
That is crazy. So there you have it. The river levels, we always do 4 of them. We do the west, north, and then the middle section, and then down the lower section of Marietta. Yeah, so I mean, it looks like as long as we don't get any more flooding or anything like that, it looks like we're going to kind of level out a little bit for these big tournaments coming up, and that might be a struggle for some people. Some people like the dirty, not dirty, but they don't like the clear water, and they'd rather have it a little higher, which I mean, I'd rather have it at 5, 6, something like that, and have a little stain. But
I know. I feel like the water clarity is affecting the top water bite a little bit. I haven't really found a good top water bite yet this year, and I'm wondering if maybe that's why. Because even when I was out today, the water was clearer, but it still wasn't great. Like if I was shallow, I could see the bottom pretty good, but anytime I was 3 feet or deeper, I couldn't really see the bottom. So I think that's having an effect on kind of the top water bite a little bit. Although, I wanted to mention I did catch one on the Karashi today, my first Karashi fish.
nice.
And I had a couple followers. I was surprised. I was finally figuring it out, and I could actually see him following it up out of the shallows. So that was kind of cool.
So do you fish that like a walk the dog type of deal? But it's
Just a quick turch, but it's twitches, but it's subsurface. So twitch as I'm retrieving it. And man, I had probably 3 or 4 now that they weren't huge, but it was definitely attracting attention. So
yeah. Well, I seen a lot of bait yesterday when I was out, and they were all about that size. So it makes sense that they were chasing that.
I probably shouldn't have said that because now everybody's going to be throwing them.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Well, we'll get into the photos. The photos are brought to you by Achigan, the official brand of smallmouth bass. So our first photo comes in from JP Poole.
JP's still finding them.
He's a hammer, bro. He catches big ones all the time.
I think his dad is definitely watching over him and putting him on the fish.
Absolutely.
Next we have JR Rents with a nice one. Is that the who was the one who sent the ginormous one?
Oh no, that was that's somebody coming up. That was Alan. He caught a 21 3/4. But this might have been the fish that gave him big fish for MAKBF 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I was going to say that looks pretty big.
Yeah, he had a 20.5. He was actually, there was another person that caught a one bigger than him, but he didn't sign up he wasn't a member of MAKBF, so he didn't get the award.
Big bass. Okay.
Yeah, so JR, congratulations on that, and thanks for sending that photo in.
Yep.
Next up, our very own Jake Houseman.
Perennial entry in the picture list. Thank you, Jake.
He messaged me today, said he caught 4 20-inchers this weekend.
Yeah, Larry mentioned that too, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
I mean, he fishes hard though. He fished all weekend long.
Right. So yeah, he's definitely spends more time on the water than me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think when I was talking to him last weekend at the tournament at Awards, he was saying that when he does go out, he's out there for 8+ hours at a time. Mm-hmm. So he was probably out for 8 hours Saturday and probably 8 hours today. Still, congratulations on them 20s, Jake. That's awesome.
Yeah, keep hammering them, bud. Next, we have Alan Naylor. This is the one I was talking about. Yeah. So this was
he caught that on the Juniana.
Yeah, and it was 22 inches. So that's definitely a unicorn of a smallie. So congrats, Alan. That's a beautiful fish.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks for letting us use that photo, Alan. Next up, we have our very own Scotty Hepner, and he's finally got a smallmouth in his hand.
Good job, Scotty.
Good job, Scotty. Thanks for sending that in. You know, if you watch our podcast, he's always sending photos in of greenfish, but now he's got that looks like a big one too. So good job on that smallmouth, Scotty.
And last up for this round, we have Mario Denatali. I hope I said that right, but he's got a handful of smallies there. Both look really nice. So nice fish, brother.
Yeah, he said he caught that on the donkey rig. So
he doubled up. Oh, that would be awesome. I can't imagine pulling that in. Can you imagine?
No.
I've caught two on a whopper plopper once, but they weren't anywhere near that big.
Yeah. I caught two last year on the Juniana, but they weren't. One was big like that, but the other one was like a 12-incher.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
I'm sure that was
both of them
bending the rod over for sure.
Yeah. So that'll do it for our segment that we like to do every podcast, brought to you by Achigan. Thanks everyone for sending them in. We appreciate it.
Keep them coming.
Somebody's asking, how do they submit pictures? Oh yeah. So every other Saturday or Sunday on our Facebook page, Chasing the 20-inchers, I'll make a post about, if you want to be featured in the podcast, just submit your pictures in the comments, and then I'll take care of them and we'll get them up here. So that's how you do that, buddy. All right. Well, I guess we will bring Steven in.
Yeah, let's welcome Steven from Everyman Angling on YouTube. He started fishing some tournaments with us as well. So welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? How are y'all doing?
Welcome, Steven. Looks like you got a little disco going on back there behind you.
Yeah, my PC over there. One of my bad habits is gaming. So, yeah, I guess I could turn that off to be less of a distraction over here.
No. Yeah. It actually looks cool. I like it. I like it. Nice. So, Steve, we brought you on the show because, we met you through Kayak Anglers of Central PA. I watched a few of your videos before I met you, and I don't know if Sean did, but he might have.
I didn't start watching until after he reached out to me, but then after that I started watching. So
we were supposed to have Steven and Vincent from Anglers Anchor on, but he had messaged me. He's kind of feeling under the weather, so he's not going to make it this week, but he definitely wants to reschedule. So we're going to have Steven on today solo, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about his history in fishing and his YouTube channel and his new endeavor in kayak fishing. We met at the Kayak Anglers Central PA event at the awards, and it was cool to see them guys. Vincent was there. It was his first kayak tournament. I think Steven, was that your second or third?
That was my second.
Yeah. And you did pretty well for your second. You caught a limit. I think, what'd you finish?
11th.
11th.
You beat me.
I think there was 29 or 30 anglers. Yeah. So that's pretty dang good, man. When I first started kayak fishing tournaments, I was happy just to catch a limit. To get 11th place out of 30 people, and most of them people are, fairly conditioned in the kayak world, and for you to come in there and do that, that's a pretty amazing feat.
Well, I appreciate that. I didn't have any flop off the board, so we're improving from the Juniata event. So I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get started, why don't you kind of introduce yourself, tell people where you're from, or where you came from, because you did say you were from the South. You moved up here. You moved to the right spot, because the Susquehanna River is awesome. Freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. I grew up in the upstate of South Carolina, so the Piedmont region, and I've fished from my earliest days. I just remember fishing, but I was targeting largemouth, carp, catfish, that kind of stuff. I didn't catch very many smallmouth. A few of our lakes, like Jocassee or Kiwi, have a few smallmouth. I think the Broad River does, but I was targeting largemouth. So 8th or 9th grade, I moved to Pennsylvania. My dad's a pastor, and he took a church up here. So I found myself way up north trying to figure out how to fish and targeting smallmouth. And so it's been a learning experience since then. I love smallmouth. They're pit bulls. They're so fun to catch. And yeah, so
free the fighter.
Yeah, man, they're aggressive. I mean, pound for pound. I don't know, maybe striper can compete with them, but smallmouth are just mean fish.
So what age did you start, like, I want to say, kind of being real serious about fishing?
As long as I can remember. My dad was a fisherman, and we used to fish tournaments together. We were big into carp fishing, believe it or not. And it's not as popular in the north, I've noticed, but in the south, in South Carolina, there's a big carp fishing culture similar to what you would see in Europe. They take it pretty seriously. So from a very young age, we were out there fishing. And yeah, when I was a kid, I'd sit in my room and tie on baits with treble hooks and cast at stuffed animals and catch my clothing. I would get in trouble all the time. But honestly, fishing has been a part of my life for a very long time. So the environment is different now, but that desire's been there as long as I can remember.
And so you did mostly boat fishing or bank fishing, or when you were younger, or at what point did you move to boat, or that was kind of all along part of it?
Sure. So my grandpa had a boat, and we would fish off that. I did a lot of bank fishing. Some of my earliest memories too, I would sneak out of the house and steal my mom's loaf bread and go down to the culvert by my house and catch creek chubs with my Shakespeare combo. So I did bank fishing, wading, boat fishing, a little bit of everything from a very young age. And once I moved to Pennsylvania, I started wading a lot because I've noticed you guys call them creeks, and people often point out on my YouTube channel, that's a big creek. What are you talking about? I'm like, I get it. You know, in the South, we would have called this a river, but I think just because the Susquehanna River is so big, everything's a creek here. So Penn's Creek, and Conda de Glenn, it's like, those are some pretty big creeks. So I started to wade a lot when I came up here, and I still fish from a boat a good bit too.
Do you own a boat?
I do not, but I have several friends with boats, and that's just as good. Maybe even better. Because I don't have
exactly.
You're
not sinking the money in there then.
Yeah, because I remember you saying you fished a lot of boat tournaments. I didn't know if you owned a boat or not.
Well, I'll fish with my buddies. I fish on my buddy's boat a lot, and we'll fish tournaments from time to time. And like I said, I grew up fishing on my grandfather's boat. So I'm working on my wife, though. So if she's watching this, I'm still trying to
hint.
Yeah, get one of them rock proofs.
Oh,
y'all put in. I need to start placing higher than 11th if I want to rock. We need to work on that.
Yeah. So, when and what got you started into your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I started about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years, somewhere around there, and it really started out mostly as a way for me to record my catches. I noticed when I was catching the 20 inchers, I had no way to document it. I didn't have a phone. And then it becomes a fish story, right? When you're catching those upper fours and those teetering on 5 pounds, you never have proof. So I started strapping a GoPro on to just record my fishing trips. And I said, well, if I'm doing this, I may as well start a YouTube channel. And part of it too was, as a guy who grew up fishing for largemouth and catfish and carp in lakes, it was a learning experience for me trying to figure out how to fish creeks and rivers. You know, I mean, structure is structure no matter where you are, but I didn't know what a current seam was, and I didn't use the word eddy very often as a kid. You know, I'm fishing laydowns and rock piles and stuff like that. So I figured if I'm learning how to fish creeks and rivers, I may as well bring people along for the ride, and hopefully they can learn something too as I'm learning.
Yeah. See, Matthew Weimer here says Susquehanna Fishing Tackle has a tournament coming up with 13 fishing for 10,000 for first place. Yep, we know, Matthew. We're all about it, brother. We had Mike on 2 weeks ago talking all about it. Sorry to interrupt, but I had to get that out. That's the talk of the town, man. It's the talk of the town. Yeah,
$150 limit?
yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a limit. I think they got to hit 150 for the $10,000 payout, but I think you're allowed. They're going to accept more than 150 anglers, and I think they'll get it.
Oh yeah.
So you were talking about to videotaping yourself. You can learn a lot just by watching things that you do when you're fishing, and that helped me out a lot too. I'd see different things that I would do wrong, and I'd just remember them when I was out on the water, and I'd try to change them. And it really helped me as a fisherman, just videotaping myself and watching it over and over, especially when you catch some nice fish too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a learning experience too. I mean, there's obviously that barrier. You have that imposter syndrome right away. Well, it's like, what do I know about fishing? There's guys out there that can fish better than I can. So getting past that first barrier, being okay with putting content out there. And also, I don't really have the personality for YouTube. People might disagree.
I think you do. I think you do.
I'm not really good at the whole, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. That kind of stuff is like pulling teeth for me. So I've seen myself grow over the past year and a half on my YouTube channel, just being more approachable. And
but there's something to be authentic too. People, if you try and be someone that you're not, I think that's gonna probably turn people off more than it's gonna get you stuff. So I think being your authentic self, which I mean, I met you a few times and you seem like a cool guy to me. So I think just keep doing you.
Yeah, absolutely. I like your little niche that you have where you're always at your house doing the, like after the whatever trip you went on, when you get back to the house, you talk about it. That's your little niche that I like.
Yeah, usually the backyard. I sit in the office now, and really the only reason I'm doing that is because this might be the only wall in the house where you're not going to see the post-apocalyptic scene that is my children's toys throughout the house.
You don't want to see behind this camera, man. It is not pretty.
Yeah, that's something I have to work on my channel. Like I don't talk very much. I'm every time I'm on the water, I'm so focused on fishing and catching fish and boat positioning and everything. I just forget about talking to the camera. And I'm starting to get better at it. My last 2 tournaments that I've been editing the videos for, I noticed that I'm talking a little more, showing the fish that I catch and stuff like that. But you won't see them videos till after the SFT tournament. So
you can send those to me if you want to. I don't mind. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but Carlisle, when you're talking now, I think you're talking to me half the time. So I'm like, huh? And then I realize you're talking to the camera.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I'll be out on the water and there'll be people on the bank, and I'm talking to the camera. They're like, "What the hell's wrong with that guy out there? He's talking to his damn kayak." You're
not going to please everyone. Also, that's something I've learned. Some people want production value and B-roll and that kind of stuff and dialogue. Some people don't want any talking, and some people want music. I had a comment the other day. I put some music in my video, and someone was like, "Well, I turned the volume down, and then the video was good." I'm like, well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, buddy. But you're not going to please everyone. So I think you're right. Trying to be authentic as best you can. Yeah.
You also got to be careful what music you use, because I have like all our podcasts that we do are we can't monetize them because the music that we play. And it's funny because the music that we use, I got off of a site like 2-3 years ago it was okay to use, and I paid for it. And now all of a sudden it's not okay. So now you got to like go into YouTube and use their music that they supply for that.
Yeah, I saw that new YouTube music feature. It's in beta, but I've been using that lately because they have those pretty much perpetual licenses. So we'll see. But I definitely I have some old videos that I made and put music in that I can't monetize. So I'm dealing with it.
Well, you still, I mean, I guess if you don't care about the monetization, you can just still use them or whatever, as long as I haven't had any like of my videos taken down from it, so I don't think it really matters too much. You just won't get paid for it. I guess the creator of the music gets a cut off of it if you make money off of it, but it is what it is. You know what else? What else helps me a lot? I started a journal about a year and a half ago. Like every time I come home from a fishing trip, I write in it of what I've noticed, the conditions were, and all that stuff, the water temperature, the water level, and that's helped me throughout the past couple years. So that's one thing that a lot of people can do to get better at fishing is start journaling and looking back on that stuff when you have the same conditions. It'll help you.
I need to get better at that for sure.
It's hard to find the time, but like, you know, you go in the bathroom, you know, take a number 2, just keep your journal in there and write in it. That's what I do.
Gotcha.
Instead of looking at my phone.
I'll take that up. That's better than TikTok. So
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you said you were saying that you have about 1,500 subscribers now, and that's a pretty good number for only doing it for about a year and a half.
Heck yeah.
So you can tell you're growing pretty quick. Just I guess just keep being vocal like you are to the watchers and stuff like that, because that's what everybody wants to learn. I think a lot of people watch YouTube fishing shows just to learn, and when you talk about what you're doing and stuff like that, it really helps a lot of people, especially the newcomers that are just getting into it. They don't know what the heck to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, early on, I was like, man, I feel condescending just being so basic with some of the stuff. But the reality is there's guys just like me that just, you know, they'll go to the bank with the ugly stick and throw worms out there. I want to be there for those guys. I think that's part of the reason I called the channel Everyman Angling, is that I wanted it to be approachable. I wanted it to be practical, that there's no ego here. There's guys that can fish better than me. That's a fact. But if you can learn something in the video, you know, I've done my job. Growing up in South Carolina, fishing for largemouth, I don't think I had thrown a tube until I came to Pennsylvania. And, you know, I haven't thrown a Carolina rig worm probably in 10 years either. So, you know, the most basic stuff isn't basic to everybody. So,
no, and I remember when I first started on Paddle and Fin, you know, my first podcast was Bass Fishing for Noobs, and on that show, I tried to not take anything for granted. So if I talked about, you know, fishing an eddy, I'd explain what an eddy is, because there's definitely people out there who are like, "What's an eddy?" You know, and
absolutely,
you take a lot of stuff for granted, but like you said, that's why people watch to learn, and everybody starts somewhere. There was a time when I would have been like, I don't know what an eddy is, you know.
100%. Or you see, sorry, go ahead, Carl.
I was gonna say I still look up like certain knots that I don't tie all the time. I'll go on YouTube and watch a video on how to tie a certain knot. You know, it's the little things like that. Like you got people that are just getting into fishing. They don't even know how to tie a knot. So how awesome is it for them just to bring up YouTube while they're out on the bank, and they could watch a video and learn how to tie a knot in 2 minutes? You know, so it's not about people that are better than you, and it's what you're teaching, you know.
100%. They'll see a video of a guy, you know, fishing a chatterbait or a buzzbait or something, wearing them out, and they'll go out at noon in the creek when the water's clear and low and say, this thing doesn't even work. I made a video recently with the old whopper plopper, because I saw a video where the question posed was, what's a bait that everyone says works, but you've never caught a fish on? And so many people said whopper plopper, every single one of them. So I went out there, and it's part of the learning experience, right? Like, you know, you're going out when the sun's high and it's cooking, those fish are sluggish, you know, ripping a whopper plopper through there is probably not going to do anything, but the right time of the year and the right time of the day and the right conditions, it absolutely catches fish. So those things, you know, they're not basic to everyone. So I think taking the time to explain some of that stuff itself.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Matthew Weimer says he watches YouTube on the water for knots and depth finder tricks if he doesn't know what he was doing. Yep. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to be better than somebody to go out and fish and start a YouTube channel. Or, you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, we're all like sponges. We all want to learn everything, especially us fishermen. We want to watch every freaking fishing video there is on YouTube and try to learn, especially if we're going to go fish that body of water, you know? And who knows, you might even in the background be able to pick out where they're fishing if the spot's really good or whatnot. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to be better than everybody to go on there and show people different things. And that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, that's why I try to have a lot of diversity on my channel too. At the end of the day, I just like to fish, you know. Smallmouth have my heart, I guess you could say, in a sense. But if you watch my channel, you're going to see me carp fishing, cat fishing. If I'm bored and nothing's going on, I'll go out and target fall fish. I don't care. I just like to fish at the end of the day. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
Just trying to have that diversity. I suffered from being a jack of all trades and master of none. I think I just like to get out there and throw a line in the water.
That's got to help you too, though, because usually if you can catch some kind of fish, it's going to translate at least in some way to catching other species of fish. So.
For sure. And knowing where those fish are located and what their habits are.
Or even how the fish interact with each other too. Like if you're in a heavy catfish area, you know, that might mean something different for the bass in that area. So.
Yeah. And they all, like you said, they all interact, and depending on the water conditions, they're mingling in certain ways. I mean, Vince, I know in our last tournament, he caught a few catfish during the kayak.
So did I.
Y'all were all catching catfish. But again, when he told me that, I wasn't surprised because it was muddy out there, and I catch a lot of catfish when it's muddy. So yeah, learning how different fish behave and interact can help you in all kinds of ways.
What do you think are your like most popular videos? Like, are you surprised by what gets more likes and clicks than others, or is it, you know, a pretty common formula?
So one of my more popular videos recently was me covering the new Nico sinking Helgermite, because I think it's a great, you know.
I did see that video.
Yeah, I watched that video too. When you were wade fishing.
Yep, I was waiting, and that's a killer bait when the fish are sluggish and you can just drift it through the current. It's killer. But what surprises me the most are the videos about carp bait. Carp bait recipe videos tend to do well for me, and there are two different paths, right, for views. You know, I might post a video of sinking Helgermites and get 15,000 views in a week. I'll post a video of a carp bait recipe, and it'll get 100 views a week for the next year, you know. So the difference between something that's going to catch a wave right away and something that's going to be searched frequently, you know. So some of my top performing videos are just those videos that guys go on YouTube and they say, how do I make millet carp bait? And then my video pops up. So some of my more popular videos are bait recipes.
That's cool. Gotcha. That's something I like to try to like do more of, like, even if it's just like a walkthrough of my kayak and do a video like that, you know, baits and stuff like that. I just, all my videos are just going out fishing. But let's hold that thought real quick. We're going to take a 30-second commercial. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to Chasing the 20 Inchers, the Susquehanna River podcast. We have Steven here from Everyman Angling. I noticed we had about 20 people watching, pretty steady at 20. If you guys have any questions for him, post it in the comments and we'll get them to him. So, Steven, before we went to break, we were talking about, you know, different videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and I was saying, like, I'd like to start doing more stuff like that, like a walkthrough with my kayak. You know, you could do so many different things. I just always just post my fishing trips, and I need to switch it up Because I'm right now, I think I'm sitting stale at like 560 some subscribers.
Yeah, those types of videos aren't fun to make. I'd much rather be out fishing for sure. But again, having a good mix of content where people are searching it up, rigging tips, I'll do those occasionally. And like I said, baits, dough baits, pack baits, stuff like that. Those get consistent views. And, that gives me the wiggle room to get out and do what I really want to do, which is be on the creek or the river.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's hard to find time, especially in the summer, instead of going fishing, just sitting in front of a camera talking about fishing. I'd rather be on the water too. And I'm sure Sean would too.
And being honest too, part of the barrier for me early on was, if I go out and I don't have a good trip, I don't want to post a video.
Yeah.
It's July and you're throwing a fluke around and you're catching a ton of dinks. It's like, well, is this even worth posting? But I think part of it too is, again, that relatability. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm doing out here, whether I'm catching 20 inches or not. I'd love to catch some 20 inches, but in the creeks in the summer, it gets tough. It
does.
Yeah. I would love to catch a 20 incher.
The funny thing is too, I'm over here saying 20 incher and all this stuff, but even for me as a Southern guy, thinking of fish, bass in terms of length as opposed to width is such a challenge.
We'll convert you. You're getting into kayak stuff that you're going to have to start,
Yeah, I catch a fish. I have no idea how long it is. I have no idea. I could tell you within, a few ounces, probably how much it weighs, but you're catching a pre-spawn 20 incher. That's a lot heavier than a post-spawn 20 incher. So, it might not help you in a boat tournament or, that 5-pound fish or upper fours compared to an upper threes. That's a huge difference. The kayak doesn't matter.
Nope.
Yeah.
So that brings up an interesting topic. What got you into a kayak, and what got you headed in that direction?
Yeah, so I've been kayak fishing for a while, but when I was younger and I was kayak fishing, it was a sit-in kayak and I'm just floating and casting around. But I think it's just I wanted to compete, and I knew I had seen the posts of kayak fishing just taking off. The pro circuits are getting more and more popular, and I don't know if there's a better location in the United States for kayak fishing than where we are. We
have the best location.
Cana de Gwinnett. I mean, even our creeks, like I said, our creeks are killer. So I figured I may as well jump on the train and throw my hat in there. But it's been a learning experience, but I figured, may as well just throw myself in there, see how it goes, and learn. I'm just here to learn. Like you said, my first tournament was the Juniata tournament, and I just wanted to catch a limit. Got to the ramp, got on the water an hour late, forgot I had something to do in the afternoon, quit at noon, had a 17-incher flop off my board. So it has been a learning experience for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to get in there, try it out.
Well, if you're taking the leap to the classic, then holy cow, those are that's an entirely different ballgame there.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. We'll see.
I did the same thing. I entered a Hobie event probably my third year in, and I think I finished 160th out of 250th. So, it wasn't horrible, but there was a lot of people above me, but
yeah,
it was still fun to go see. And, the list of names of the people I fished against were the top people in the sport. So it was just cool to say, yeah, I fished with those people or against those people.
Yeah, there's big names in there, but I'll tell you this though, the one pro to kayak tournaments as opposed to boat tournaments is if I have a terrible day, I can just go to the ramp, tuck my tail, and go home without seeing anybody. In boat tournament, you got to go back to weigh-ins and check in and all that stuff. You can hide a little bit in a kayak tournament if you're having a terrible day. So I like that.
But let me talk about that for a second. I've been to a lot of awards where I didn't do very well in the tournament, but I went to the awards. And I learned so much at the awards from people talking. It's different. It's a different kind of atmosphere between the boat world and the kayak world. And I don't know why it is, but the boat world is like hush hush. Like they don't want to talk about, anything, what baits they were using or anything like that. The kayak world, everybody, I would say 9 times out of 10, if you go up to somebody and talk to them about that because they did well or whatnot, they're going to tell you like what was going on for them that day.
Do you find that too, Stephen? I mean, I haven't fished boat tournaments ever, but I've heard that the kayak tournaments seem to be a little more, I don't know what the word is, but non-confrontational or I don't know. They just seem to be a different kind of person. But I only know that through what I've heard. I like I said, my boat tournament experience is nil.
Yeah, I think that's right. You don't have as much, at least I've only fished 2, so I don't know that I can speak for all kayak tournaments, but you don't seem to have as much of that, oh, you fished my spot, you got too close to me, that kind of stuff that you get with boat tournaments. So, and I agree with what you said about the awards. I said that you could tuck your tail, but I finished 11th in that last tournament, and I went to the awards because I wanted to chat with some people, and you do learn a lot. You hear about what guys are throwing, what they did, and it's like, okay, I was throwing the same bait as some of these guys, so I'm not crazy. You do learn a lot going to these award ceremonies.
Absolutely.
I would recommend, unless you just have 5 fish flop off the board or something like I felt like was going to happen to the Judiata. Yeah, it's a good idea to go to the award ceremony because you meet some guys. That's where I met the 2 of you. We had chatted a little before, but I got to meet you guys in person and meet some of the other guys in the circuit. So it's a good time.
Yeah, it's good. The camaraderie at the awards, talking about, everybody's talking about how their day went and stuff like that. You meet new friends, just exactly what we did. And I always go because I always want to be there for the person that won it, or the top 3 or whatever. And you said you finished 11th, but I think the top 6 were in the 90s.
Top 8, I think.
Top 8, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not bad, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. I showed up. I think I had like 83.5 or 84 inches or something like that. And it was good enough.
A good day.
Well, when I see that 8 guys had 90 plus, I was like, my goodness, I'm in over my head over here. But, like you said, anyone can have a good day and anyone can have a bad day. I was catching fish. I was catching a lot of fish. But, again, every 16-inch and 17-inch fish in the Susquehanna decided to bite my bait. So,
yeah,
sometimes you just got to know where they are and you got to figure it out. But anyone can have a good day.
You got to weed through all the little ones sometimes, Yeah.
For sure.
I remember last year when we fished the native Power Hour tournament, and I fished near City Island, and I felt like I caught a carbon copy of the same 14-inch fish a million times. I was like, I just could not find anything of size, but I could catch those 14 inchers all day long.
Well, that's all you need, right? I think the limit is 14. If you catch 114 inchers, you're going to win the damn thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Power Hour, that's coming up here in the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my first Power Hour tournament. I had no clue what I was doing. I went out there. I think I caught 1 fish, and it was like a 15-incher. And I called my wife. I was like, I caught a fish. I was so happy. I've caught a fish in a tournament, and that was like one of my first tournaments about 3 years ago. And I'm hooked. Ever since the first one, I'm been hooked. I love it. I love being out there on the water. I love the competition. I love trying to figure it out. It's awesome. That's my church, man, out there.
And it's fun. And that was my goal in the first couple of tournaments, get 5 fish on the board. I said, I don't care if they're all 12 inches. I'm going to measure every one of them. But yeah, thankfully I got a limit both times, but it was dicey. Again, I had no idea what I was doing. For the Juniata, I picked a random launch, single point launch, fished around probably a couple 100 yards of the launch all day long. And I was like, man, I just hope I get 5 fish. This will be interesting if I don't. Yeah. But everyone's cool. No one cares. If you have a bad day and you get 1 fish,
yep.
Bad days. We all have bad days. What kind of kayak are you running?
I have a Jackson Big Rig Flex Drive. So I've got the big boy, but I'm a big boy. I'm 270-ish, so I wanted something with some stability, but it's a big one. I think it's 13 and a half feet long or something like that, 150 pounds unloaded with the drive.
I knew it was heavy. I mean, not that the PAs aren't, but I knew that one was up there too.
You have a motor on that?
I have a motor, not on it right now. I do have a Newport that, if I end up fishing some of these other tournaments, I'll end up throwing the motor on there. But, this group is manpower. So I figured, if I'm going to get into kayak fishing, I'm going to start with the manpower. So I don't have an element to worry about.
Yeah.
I just talked to Larry about that today when we were out in the water. I was like, I should be practicing without my motor. It's dumb to even go out there because I get too accustomed to it, and then I can't get to places that I would normally go with my motor on tournament day because I don't have it. So I really should learn to not take it with me, but
it's so hard not to.
It is.
And you fish differently, right? So,
yes.
I noticed that I fished for my first one, Juniata, I did a single point, and then for the middle Susquehanna, I floated, and you fish differently. And, I have a big stable kayak, but it's not the fastest upstream. So depending on whether I'm floating or single point, it can change how I approach my day.
100%. And I think that can be a good thing too, though. Like if you can't cover as much water, it forces you to break down the water you're in a little bit better. And, you're going to learn something from doing that if you don't have the option to spot hop. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's bad, but it's different, like you said, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it makes you a better angler, to tell you the truth, because you can't, like you said, you can't go spot hopping super fast because you got a paddle or a pedal, and it forces you to pick spots apart, which is a good thing. And then when you do have your motor on, I think you become a better fisherman because you're more patient in the spots that you fish.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what I noticed, that difference between the Juniata and the middle Susquehanna. At single point, I'm picking stuff apart more. And it's like when I'm waiting, there are fish there. I'll stand in the same spot all day and catch, 20 bass within 50 yards. So they're there if you're in a good spot. But then I do a float and I'm notice, okay, you're going to rip a plopper or a chatterbait or something a couple times on a bank and move on, fish a grass island 3 times and move on. It's like, that's not always the best idea either. So I'm learning as I go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. The no motor tournaments are very interesting. It makes it an even playing field too, I think. Just because, if you have a motor and somebody has one that's a little faster than another, they can get to the spots faster. But with the human power, you're basically playing on the same field. I got a Torpedo on the way. Nice. I just ordered the Torpedo Travel, the newest one from Blue Mountain Outfitters. So next week I think it'll be in and I can go pick it up, and hoping to have that thing on my kayak by Power Hour and the Kayak Adventure Series. I'm pretty excited about that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I said you'll be blown by me now. I had a little bit of a speed advantage before, but now not anymore.
Yeah, well, I'll just be happy to get up, because there was some times in the spring when we were in them creeks where you and Larry were getting up the riffles, and I couldn't get up there with my XI3.
Now you have foot control steering now with your XI3.
Yeah, the rudder.
Okay. I was going to say, I was trying to figure that out the other day. I was thinking about that. I'm like, wait a second. He has the foot control steering, but how does that work with the...
Yeah, so I just keep the motor straight and then use the foot control steering for the rudder so I can make adjustments while I'm cruising.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds like you just need that new kayak with the inboard jet. I saw iCast.
Yeah.
Rip around on that thing.
Flux jet or whatever it's called.
I think that could be a game-changing kayak, man. If it is at all, if the hull is at all, tuned well, I think that could be really good.
Here's what I think is going to happen with that. They're going to take the motor and that company that built that is going to start selling them motors to all the big brand companies like Bonafide, Hobie, you know, all the big brands, and they're gonna start making them with that jet motor in them. Because the kayak itself didn't look anything special to me. The seat looked like crap, like it was just a junk seat. You know, you got the built-in cup holders, stuff like that. That's what I think is going to happen with that. They're just going to sell off the motor and make their money on the motors and sell them to all the big name brands, the big famous brands.
Well, then it's not going to be affordable anymore. That's what
exactly.
They'll put it in a Hobie and then charge $7,000 for it. You know.
Yeah. But
that's the thing. Part of the draw for kayak fishing is that it's approachable financially, and you know, if you're spending 15 grand kayak setup, it's like, man, I can just go buy a tracker, you know, a Bass Pro or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see though. What's the horsepower on that jet? Is this 3.5? Is it going to work for these tournaments?
I'm not sure exactly. I know they said you can put in from a 12 volt all the way up to a 60 volt battery. So imagine if you have a 60 volt battery in that thing, probably hit like 8 miles an hour or something.
You would think, yeah.
I'll launch in Harrisburg and go fish up in Sunbury.
You'll like have a rooster tail behind you, you know.
No, it is a cool concept though, especially, you know, for our river. You wouldn't have to worry about hitting anything with your propeller or anything like that.
And they figured out a way to keep the grass out of it too. It has like this strainer on it built in, so the water goes through, but the grass doesn't. So they did put a lot of thought into it. So it definitely looks cool.
Hey, have you guys noticed that there isn't a lot of grass floating down the river like there was last year?
Today that was an issue.
Oh, really?
I'll say that. Yep. I was throwing a whopper plopper today, and I was picking up grass all over the place.
Really?
Yes.
Because yesterday I was fishing the west side of Wrightsville, and that was always an issue last year for me with top water and stuff like that. But this year it's not as much. Like I didn't have hardly any issues yesterday.
I don't know why today it definitely was, because that's why I kind of put the popper down. I actually jumped to a spinnerbait because I was tired of cleaning stuff off. So
gotcha. What about you, Steven? You noticed anything like that with the grass?
I haven't noticed much difference. I've had some days where it was brutal, and you know, treble hooks were a no-go, but I don't know that I've noticed too much of a difference. But I'm maybe a different section mostly than y'all are too, down towards Wrightsville. So
yeah. You got anything else, Sean, for Steven while we have him on yet? We got a couple
since he asked, I was gonna. I know you mentioned your pastor was your father was a pastor, and that you have some experience in that field too. I was just gonna ask you how that connects with your fishing at all, if it does, and where you use that in your fishing.
Sure. So the way I look at fishing is that it's one of God's gifts to man. The fact that we can be out in nature and enjoy creation and steward the fish, take care of them, and manage the resource. It's just a great gift. So, you know, my faith is not just a part of me. It kind of encapsulates everything I do, whether it's fishing or work or really anything. So in some ways, you know, occasionally on my YouTube channel, I'll post Creekside devotionals, things like that, where I'll, you know, work through a passage. And I thought, well, you know, obviously everyone is welcome on my channel, regardless of their religious beliefs. But at least for me, when I was younger, there was someone out there working through a passage and trying to catch smallmouth at the same time. That would have been very interesting to me. So I'll use my YouTube channel for that as well, and make these, again, Creekside devotionals, 3 or 4 minute devotionals where I'm, you know, fishing. So yeah, I've noticed that YouTube and fishing and really everything, it's a good way to, you know, blend my faith and my hobbies in a way that I think is, you know, hopefully helpful to everyone.
Very cool. Very cool.
That is very cool. That's awesome.
There's another guy I watch who does instructional fishing videos that does devotionals at the end of it, and I can't remember the channel now, but I definitely enjoy that part of it as well. So I'll have to look for yours as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. I had this experience pretty recently, actually. I got a notification on my YouTube channel that there was a copyright violation. Someone was using my content without my permission. So I was like, that's weird. So I checked the notification, and it said 20% of their video matches yours. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And I looked at the thumbnail, and it was a pulpit. And I'm like, what in the world? And I guess a church in Colorado had played one of my Creekside devotionals in their service.
No.
And, yeah, and it flagged it. And so I had the option to, take it down or whatever. Obviously, I left it. But when I started a YouTube channel a while ago, I didn't expect to get copyright violations from some church in Colorado. But I'm happy that they found it beneficial.
I was just going to say, at least somebody's using it for that purpose. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because that, at the end of the day, I love to fish, but in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty unimportant. If all the satisfaction I get in this life is from how many 20-inchers I catch, I'm going to be unsatisfied because there's always another 20-incher out there. It's always going to be around the next bend in the creek, my happiness, my fulfillment, my peace. So it's awesome that I can enjoy this gift and that it brings me happiness and satisfaction. But if this is all I've got, it's a pretty hollow existence.
Yeah, there's if that's the hole if that's what you're trying to fill the hole with, it's probably not going to fill it.
Yeah,
indeed.
But cool, man. I appreciate that answer. So yeah, I think that's all I got. I just wanted to throw that in there. So thanks for indulging me.
Yeah. So Steve, if you have anybody to shout out, I guess now's the time.
Yeah. Where can folks find your channel and all that cool stuff?
Yeah, you can find me at Everyman Angling on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I have lots of awesome partners: Nico Baits, Susquehanna Custom Lures, Bahio Sunglasses, Trico Rods. A lot of good companies that I've been fortunate enough to have relationships with. So go check out their stuff. You can find it on my YouTube channel. And I generally don't promote stuff that I don't like. So if I'm using it, I like it. But I appreciate all the support, and it's been a fun journey for the past year and a half. And I appreciate everyone who watches the channel. It means a lot.
Heck yeah. Keep that train rolling, man. Looks like
you're the good work.
Before you know it, you'll be at 10,000 subscribers.
We'll see. I'm going to keep on keeping on. And yeah, no, it's been fun. And I'll see you guys on the river. We have some tournaments coming up.
Next weekend.
Yeah, we'll see you out there.
I can't say I hope you keep beating me, but I hope you do well. And I'm not, the competitive side of me is not there. Like, I know Carlisle is way more competitive than me. I'd much rather, I just love being out there with you guys. And I compete against myself first and foremost, because I know not many times am I going to peak out, but again, I love sharing the water with you guys and just look forward to fishing a lot more tournaments with you. And, who knows, whatever else we can fish. So,
yeah, it's cool that you guys are starting the whole kayak scene. That's awesome, man. And remember, it's us against the fish. Hey, Steve, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's us against the fish.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next weekend. Thanks again.
All right, see you then.
All right, Sean.
Yeah,
I did want to say, if anybody's interested, Blue Mountain Outfitters, if you go there to buy some
kayak accessories.
Yeah, kayak accessories or anything like that. If you mention our podcast, you will get a discount. We didn't get the code yet because she's still trying to figure out the whole website thing. And once she does all that, we'll have a code for you guys to use. But if you do go in there and mention chasing the 20-inchers, I'm sure you'll get a decent discount off of your products, probably 10 to 15%. So I just
I
wanted to
know
put that-
Steven mentioned Triker Rods too. I got to give a quick shout out to them because I was out on Friday and broke my Ned rig rod, and that was my first Triker rod, and they actually sent me a new one, or a new one's in the mail already to me. So
that's awesome.
I think maybe we should reach out to them and talk to them about the podcast a little bit, because they just the dealings that I've had with them have been amazing, and that rod I absolutely love the sensitivity of it. So we'll definitely have to kind of check in with that a little bit more. So
maybe Steven can point us in the right direction.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing, guys. It's the talk of the town. You guys all know, but for people that don't know, September 20th, the Susquehanna Fish and Tackle is having a kayak tournament on the Susquehanna. First place will get $10,000 as long as they get 150 anglers. So get signed up for that. It's $150 to enter, but you do get a $100 rod when you sign up. When you go to the store for, I guess, to get your board checked is when they will hand out the rods, I guess, the night before the tournament. So you're really only spending $50 and you got a chance to win a lot of money. So
Definitely.
Check them out. We got a busy month next month with all these tournaments coming to the Susquehanna. So it's going to be a very interesting next couple months here.
Yeah.
You have anything else, Sean? If not, we're going to close this out.
Yeah, no, that's it. Thanks everybody for listening, and keep sending us your pictures, keep sending us your stories. We love hearing how you guys are doing out there on the water. And if you have any ideas for shows or guests that you'd like us to have on, let us know. But other than that, thank you guys for listening, and hope you guys have fun out on the water.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, and God bless.
All right, catch you guys later.
Thank you for tuning in to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, for future shows, like, follow, share, and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you check out our individual channels and accounts too. Want to be a guest on one of our shows and talk of adventures, gear, or products? Contact us. Thank you for watching The Noob Show with Matt Gibson, Chasing the Tide with Dustin Nichols, The Rusty Hook with John Rapp, The River Run with Adam Fraser Pross, May Contain Fishing with Daniel Woodcock, Chasing the 20s with Carlisle Esterly and Sean Lavery, Friday Night Bites with Brian Schiller. Thanks for tuning into the Paddle and Fin Network. Subscribe and always wear your PFD.